All right, we in here. You're in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the 24/7 Moneymaker webinar. Today, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to get in with it. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to tell you straight off though, I'm going to tell you that. If you're in here right now, well, if you're watching this, you in here, okay? But you in here, I need you to get relaxed. I need you to, if possible, go and get a blanket. Over here, we have a whole blanket, comforted up, just chilling like we on FaceTime. That's the whole thing that we want for today. Get you a snack, get you something to eat, something to drink, girl, because we might be here for a minute. All right. So I want you to get real comfortable, real nice. Although I feel like this process is simple, of course, I like to talk. If you are not new here, you know that. So here's what we're going to do, right? We're going to get ahead and jump into it. If you see me looking everywhere else, mostly it's because I have notes on my phone, and throughout the process, I want to remind myself, or if I'm writing something on a paper, remind myself to say something, or maybe something just came to my mind. All right. And I just want to talk about it. Okay. So, welcome to the 24/7 Money Maker webinar. All right. This is where we're going to be talking about creating your own digital products, marketing your digital products, and getting them out there effectively. Okay. So we're going to go ahead to our welcome page. And let me just tell you, I'm excited that you're here. I know sometimes it could take a little bit of working up to actually get here, to get in, to actually make the decision to actually start something new. It could be a little nervousness. It could make you nervous. It could make you a little frightened. But I want you to know that I'm glad that you're here and you made this step. We are literally about to learn how to start printing money. And I'm not saying that as a little phrase that people like to say, okay? I say that because that is exactly what effective and valuable digital products can do for you. All right. And this will only work if you are going to work it. Say this in your head, remind yourself over and over that this is only going to work if you work it. If you come in, do the work, continue to do the work, continue to research, continue to go in, this will work for you. Okay. And here's some things that I need you to do before we start. I do this with mostly all of my webinars, and even if we have a one-on-one session, I need you to remove any negativity, where it's something that you're watching, whether it could be something that you listen to, whether it could be people. You may have negative people always in your circle. That is an issue. I need you to remove any negativity, because when you are going into something new that you are already a little nervous about, you do not need any distractions around you to confirm your nervousness. And when I say confirm, I mean to make you back out, basically. We don't need any of that. We need people surrounding you that's going to encourage you to keep going, encourage you to move forward, encourage you to go get better, to do better. We don't need any negativity. All right. So the next thing I'm going to need you to do is to apply this information in 30 days minimum. This is actually very, 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 I think the word is lenient, very far-fetched. Okay. Because if you know me, if you caught my lives, anything, you know that I don't give 30 days. Okay. I say 7. And that's a stretch, because you really could create an ebook and start it in 24 hours. I have done it as a beginner as well as a non-beginner, right? So 30 days is really, really far-fetched for me to give to you, but that's how I know it could be done. In 30 days, it's actually a lot to start a digital product and do it, right? So at least because I've done something for you, which is to give you more than 7 days to complete this, I need you to do it and go all in with it and apply it in 30 days, right? I also need you to join our Discord group for support, because, like I said, you're going to need that support. You're going to have questions. You're going to have all these different concerns that is going through your head. And because I'm not currently doing one-on-one sessions, I have this Discord group just for you to reach out to me. Okay. So I'm gonna need you to click that link, copy and paste it, and join the group. And then just ask questions. Just come in there and ask questions. So everybody always have this question. Of course, the first thing to do when starting a digital product. What should I do first when starting a digital product? All right. So the first thing you should do first when starting a digital product is to find a problem to solve. You're going to have to, okay? You're going to have to find some type of value to bring to this digital product, to bring to your potential audience, your current audience, your new audience, an audience you want to build. Whatever you're doing, you're going to have to find a problem to solve and find a way to give value to these customers through this digital product, right? So you're going to this is going to be one of the top number one things that of course you're going to have to do, okay? Because you want to make sure that you're giving value. Somebody asked me what is one of the best digital products to sell, and although we want to make money and we're in it to make money, but we're not necessarily, that's not the number one thing. And it's not the number one thing because first of all, when the money doesn't come, you're going to quit. But also second of all, if you're giving value up front and impact, the money is going to come regardless. Okay. If people find you valuable, it's all the rest is going to come. Okay. So I want you to remember that. I really want you to remember that, to make sure that your product is valuable and that you're not just throwing something out there, because that will eat your reputation up quickly. All right. So here are just a few softwares and websites that you can look up questions that people have about the niche that you are in. So because we are in the front end of trying to find a topic, which is the very first step, in my opinion, of creating a digital product, is to find the problem. Okay, find where you can give the value, right? So if you have a topic already in mind, these three websites and softwares will help you to formulate the questions that a lot of people have. That way you can start rough drafting your ebook and formulate it into an ebook. So let's just say, for example, if I chose the topic, fitness after having a baby for single mothers. Notice how I really niched that down, right? I didn't just say fitness. I said what it is and who it's for. Fitness is what it is. Who is for single mothers. Of course, they have a baby. So it's when it is who it's for, when, and what it is. What it is fitness. Who is for single mothers, and when is after having a baby. Okay. So that can help you when it comes to the niching down thing. That's going to help you tremendously when it comes to the whole putting all this together, right? So you can go to websites like Answer the Public. And if we're talking about fitness after having a baby for single mothers, we can go to this website right here. Let's click it. So it's Answer the Public. And what you can do, this website formulates billions of questions that are on the minds of potential customers, your potential customers, based on different topics, right? So if you go on here, and we're going to type in fitness mothers, because we're just going to use 1 or 2 words. That's going to give us our best search. And it want me to sign up or sign in or something. Let's try to sign in real quick. And there we go. Okay. So we're going to type in again, fitness mothers. And just click that. And let's see what starts to formulate and what starts to pop up, right? Y'all see how we just hop right into this? We just hop right into it. So we have 27 questions from people that want to know about fitness and mothers, okay? Like this together. You have the how, the when, the where on here, all these types of different questions that they start to formulate. So then you can take these same small questions, or you can choose a few or not. It can kind of give you a brainstorm of idea on where to go, where to start, and how to start answering these specific questions, right? Another way that you can start when it comes to thinking about what your ebook is going to be about, in a way that I started, is I formulated an ebook from questions that people already asked me. So for example, I started a t-shirt brand first. And when I started there, I noticed a lot of people were asking me how I did it, the steps to doing it, the back end of doing it, how to set up your Shopify, how to do all this stuff, right? So I was like, okay, now I think I should make an ebook. The light bulb went off one day. And I was like, I think I should make an ebook on how I did all of this. So that was one way that you can do it also, is if you feel like somebody always asks you these same questions about whether it's your skincare, whether it is about fitness, whether it is about cooking, all these different things, then you could easily make a ebook on these different topics that they ask you all the time. Okay. So I personally feel like people always have something to ask or talk about. But if you don't feel like you have something to talk about, then you can go start here at Answer the Public. First, find a niche, find something that you're interested in and passionate about. Here's why I say interested and passionate, because if you're interested in something, you can be interested in it for 1 to 2 days. Sometimes you can be interested in things for a very short period of time, and then you're ready to move on to the next thing. But when you are interested and passionate about something, passion doesn't die down easily, right? So this is, you're going to have to be somewhat passionate and interested in these topics that you choose, because this is going to be a way that you are going to market your product. You are going to have to talk about it. You are going to have to market it. Somebody asked me that too, is will I have to market it? I'm like, that's a part of products, whether it's digital or physical. You guys, you're going to have to market products, digital or physical. You are going to have to market. If you don't market, nobody will know you're there, and then you won't make any money. Okay. So that is going to be one way that you are going to market this product, is that you are going to be passionate about it, interested in it, and you are going to become the expert in that field. And I say expert because you're going to be the go-to person. You don't have to be the top-notch person that knows every single detail in this area. But if you know a little bit more than the person behind you, they are willing to pay you for this information. They are willing to know more, to want to know more, to follow you, to share your post, to comment. They're willing to do all those things because in their eyes, you are the expert. You know more than them, so they all for it, right? So that's one way that you can do it. Now we're going to start brainstorming ideas, because we're in the beginning phase. We're in the beginning of finding the problem, finding the topic. We're brainstorming ideas, creating the rough draft. You can take out your own piece of paper and start doing this. Okay. This is a simple process, right? You can create your rough draft, formulate all of your ideas. When I say, I know I have so many people, if you jump on my lives and everything, you always say your mind has just so many ideas, especially when it comes to a digital product that you don't know. Well, this is the time. We're going to choose one, but this is the time that you can formulate all of those ideas here and put them all out. And we're going to perfect it last, right? We're going to map it out. We're going to see, what are you offering and who are you offering it to? You need to have this clear understanding of your offer to become this expert in your field, right? You're going to have to know that, just like we talk about fitness for single mothers after they had their baby, right? So I'm offering a guide to healthy fitness. I am offering it to mothers, single mothers. So that is another niche now, not just mothers, but single mothers, right? So that's a clear understanding of my offer and who I'm offering this to become this expert in this field. And then we're going to go into the creation phase. Now, we don't talk too deep into the creation phase. And the reason I don't is because creating the ebook becomes easy. I don't want you to overcomplicate, is that the word? These simple steps. I don't want you to do that, because sometimes the hardest part for a lot of people could be defining the topic and then the marketing, but the creation part becomes easy. So I don't focus too much on the creation, because once we've gotten the problem we're going to solve and the marketing out of the way, the creation part is like, do this and then let's get there. All right. So there are so many ways that you can create your ebook. My number one way that I like to recommend for new beginners is, of course, Canva, the go-to for everything. The most easiest and free platform to use is going to be Canva. You have so many free layouts, on there that you could choose from. You need to go and type in ebook and go from there. You can start from blank, or you could choose a template. Now, this is another thing that's a really, really good go-to. If you don't want to type every single thing, every word, every letter, you can use your voice to text option on your device, whether you're on your computer or on your phone. I even did this on my phone. You can go to your notes app on your phone and then just click the microphone and use your voice to text option. Of course, you're going to have to go back and do a little bit of editing, but at least you didn't have to type all those words. You could also create on Adobe and Microsoft Word. You can also create on these two platforms as well. Um, and then this is how we will go in Canva. Let's go in Canva really quick. Now, I noticed a lot of people told me that they had a little issues with working Canva. But as a beginner, I don't want you to focus so much on all this stuff that's on Canva, right? We're not going to do all that. We're not going to overcomplicate this whole process. We're not going to do that. Repeat after me, okay? We're not going to do that. We are not. So we're going to go into Canva and we are going to focus on the basic thing that we need right now. We're not focusing on trying to learn every single thing in Canva as a beginner because, again, we're not going to overcomplicate it. So you're going to go on the front end of your page. What you're going to see, you're going to type in ebook, and that's all you need right now, okay? You can go in, you can choose a blank draft to start typing, or you can choose a free layout. And the layout would just be how you basically want the template, how you basically want your ebook to look, to be laid out, etc., etc. If that's the font that you want to go with, if that's the style that you want to go with, if you want to freehand it and do the blank template, then that's great as well. But this is all that you need right now and all that you need to be focused on right now. Not all the other stuff that's in Canva, right? Repeat after me. We are not going to overcomplicate this, okay? When you are done, you are going to go over to the share button and you are going to click download. You can do this as I think it's a JPG file, but the best one, of course, is going to be a PNG file when you are uploading to these different platforms that we're about to talk about, okay? So these are the platforms that we're going to talk about. Now that we have done the creation, the brainstorming, just a little bit, and we have done the setup, etc., we are now going to start, like, what are we going to sell this on? Like, let's talk about selling it, okay? I know I did all this, but I noticed a lot of people had this issue too with uploading what they're going to put this product on, okay, to sell it. So we have these two options that I recommend. I recommend more, and we'll talk about those in a second. But as a beginner, these are just the top two that I recommend. Let me go to my notes app on my phone really quick because I also have some notes in here that I want to make sure I do not forget. One thing I noticed, people always want to call or text when I am on something. Okay. So now that we've gotten the rough draft for your ebook out of the way, it's time to start bringing in the bag. Okay. The money. And we want to know where we're going to sell this product, what platform we're going to sell it on. So here are some of the top platforms that I recommend selling your ebook on without paying monthly for the platform. So we are doing this as beginners and not paying any money up front, right? So one that I recommend is called Send Out. It is free. It has all the recommended things that I like, that I recommend that you look into, which is emailing, abandoned carts, but it has no personality to me. You know, I can't change my colors. I can't change my layout. There's no way just to like make it presentable, in my opinion. They do have what we call a transaction fee. So they have a 5% card transaction fee, which is pretty good because what are we going to do? We are going to add that 5% into the pricing of our product. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So there's no lose here or loss here at all because the platform is free and the 5% card transaction, we ain't worried about that because we're going to add it in the price of our products anyway, right? So another one that I highly recommend is called Gumroad, right? Gumroad is one of my favorite free platforms. It is customizable to change like button colors. The layout itself is better in general than Send Out to me. But they don't have abandoned carts. They have something called email workflows, but they don't necessarily have, if somebody abandoned a cart, let me send them an email about this abandoned cart, right? And that's something that I really, really love. I love abandoned carts. So that was something that kind of got me with Gumroad a little bit shaken aback is they don't have that. I'm pretty sure they will in the future, but not right now. So another thing with Gumroad is they do have, in the beginning, they do have a 9% transaction card fee until you hit $1,000 in sales. So they have what we call levels over there at Gumroad because they don't charge monthly at all for you to post on their platform at all. 9% is not bad because what are we going to do again? We're going to add that 9% into the pricing of our product. But they do have that 9% card transaction fee. So when you hit $1,000, it goes down to 7%. When you hit $10,000, it goes down to I think 5% and on down. So they have levels that you have to hit. Right. So this will be your option. This will be your choice to choose which one that you want to use. Do you want to use Gumroad or you want to use Send Out? I gave you these options because this is going to be up to you. It also does play a part in business decisions because for me, I mostly don't make decisions based on what I personally want. I make decisions based on for the long run and what's going to be best for my business in the long run. But you do have these two options and we could do any, meeny, miny, mo. Okay. Okay, so let's navigate to Gumroad really quick since this is going to be the top one I recommend. The top one, right? So when you sign into Gumroad, I did a dummy account just for y'all to see. You're going to have this welcome to Gumroad layout. And then on the side here, you have your home, your products, your posts, your audience, your analytics, your data. This is where you'll be posting your products, which is easy to upload. We can set this up in 5 minutes or less. You can set up Gumroad in 5 minutes or less. Okay. This is what I was talking about earlier, your workflows. They don't have abandoned cart, but they do have workflows. So that is going to be automating your emails. So setting up your emails. If somebody ordered a certain product but didn't order another product that you wanted them to order, like an upsell, that is going to be found to do in your workflow. So it's going to be an automation type of thing. If a subscriber subscribes to your Gumroad page, which they can do, which I do like that, you could send them emails and put them in a sales funnel. So that's going to be in your workflow section. So they do have that option, which I really, really like. These are just two other options that I want to go ahead and dig into really quick before we go into these really good other ones. So we all know that I mostly focus on the marketing of this platform or of this digital products, ebooks, things like that. Like I said, we don't too much focus on the creation part because that is simple. You literally type it up, copy and paste it, put it in a template. All right. Do a little editing, but do it have to be 1000% perfect? Absolutely not. You don't have to do all those things, okay? It is mostly about, now that I put the value in here, making sure that there's valuable information in this ebook, then I got to get it out there. So now we need to focus deeper into that. So of course, like we just talked about with your workflows, emails, you have a thing called, or a website, not a thing, called Milled.com. And Milled.com is for email ideas. I mean, I know there have been tons of times that you are thinking about all this extra stuff of emails, how to set it up. Well, abandoned carts, what is abandoned carts? Why do I need to set that up? How should it look? If you need to know all of that information, you could easily go to Milled.com, and they have so many endless templates that you could look at for email ideas, right? We also have another one called Envato.com. I hope I'm saying that right. Now, with this Envato.com, we're going to actually come back to it because it is similar to, and this company is actually an extension of Placeit, or Placeit is an extension of this one, basically. So we're going to come back to that in a minute. But let's look at another one, okay? This is another really, really good website that you can go on if you need help with emails, okay? If you need help with how to set them up, it's called reallygoodemails.com. reallygoodemails.com. Now, a lot of people don't know this out there. A lot of people slip on this. To me, it seems like illegal to know and need and have these websites out there. But you can type in abandoned cart, and it'll show you all the different types of abandoned carts from these big companies as well. that is out there, y'all. And you're not just looking on here just to think it's cute. You're looking on here because you need to know how should mine be set up. You need to know how is their set up, how does it look, how's the funnel set up, how's the font set up, how's the wording set up, the copy, which we're going to go into in just a minute. How is all this stuff set up in these abandoned carts? What are they saying, etc.? That's going to help you tremendously, right? So now we are going into what I just said, copy, right? Copy, if you didn't know, is specifically just the wording, the words that make people make or take an action, words that make people take an action. So words that either make you click a button, follow, like something, buy something, that is called copy. And people pay copywriters thousands of dollars a month because copy, good copy sells, right? So in case you're not the type of, you're not a copywriter, just say that you're not a copywriter and you don't know anything about copy. You just know that your words need to make some type of sense. Okay. So you can go to copy.ai, and what copy.ai is going to do is they're literally going to generate copy for you. That's what I'm saying. This stuff is just a little too illegal to know, right? They're going to generate this copy for you. This is not just for email. This is for Instagram. This can be for TikTok captions. But now, since we were talking about emails, we're looking into the welcome email. We are looking into the discount email. And all you have to do is click it, right? And plug in your discount offer, the product description, just the information that you have. You can say, how do you want it to be? Do you want this copy to be funny, entertaining? Do you want it to be sad? How do you want this copy to sound, right? And that's going to be based off of knowing who your audience is as well. And once you do that, they will generate this copy for you. That's insane. Okay, now before we go into this one, this is what I need you to do. I'm going to need you, because I know we've been here almost 30 minutes already. I told you we still have a while to go. For sure. I need you to take a breath, take a break. If you feel like this is some really good information, I need you to stop right now, pause the video, and go comment or review this product on the website. Go review this product with your honest opinion already on the website, right? That's what I need you to do. So I'm going to make sure that I'll stay on topic because I have some notes in my thing. All right. And now, so this is where we at now. This is what I was talking about. So we're going to go back to Envato. And we're going to talk about that because this goes with this one, right? So you can go, I know that you're at the phase right now, or you might be at this phase where you want your ebook to look presentable, right? You want it to have a cover for it. And you don't know where to get it from. You don't know where to start. This is one place you can start to set your ebook up on a cover, a mock-up cover. Go to placeit.com. Place it, and it is actually similar to Envato, of course. But the difference between Placeit and Envato is Placeit is cheaper. And to me, I actually really love their items. I feel like they're a little bit easier to use, to navigate, to set up than Envato. Envato is a little bit more pricey. It's not that pricey, but I think it's like $20-something a month versus this one, Placeit, you're running about $7 and some cents a month to do mock-ups. That's really, really good. And they're 3D and they look realistic, like you just got a professional to take the picture, right? So we're going to navigate through Placeit. We're going to type in ebook mockups. We're going to keep it real simple. Real simple, okay? We're not going to overcomplicate this. But they have endless amount of ebook mockup covers, whatever one you want to go with. And you can put this on your website. You can put this on Instagram, Pinterest, whatever you want to do or to put this. Look at it, endless. And they look phenomenal. I personally like flat layouts. I don't really like layouts with people in it, like models. I think the flat layouts look more realistic, in my opinion. Okay, now we're still in the marketing phase, right? Now we're going to be talking about marketing on one of the number one platforms that I recommend that you market on. Do not overcomplicate this. I'm going to keep saying it throughout the whole webinar. Do not overcomplicate it, all right? Because the reason I recommend TikTok as the number one platform that you solely focus on to market your digital product is because it is one of the easiest platforms to market your digital product on. And the reason why is because TikTok has become one of the at least number two, but solely scientifically number one search engine optimization platforms ever. Before most people go to Google, they go to TikTok to learn how to do something, to learn how to cook, to learn how to sell, to learn how to market, to learn how to do their nails, to learn how to do their hair, to learn a lot of stuff. People go to TikTok first. So this is why this is going to be one of the number one platforms you're going to focus on right now, because honestly, we don't know how long TikTok is going to be around. You don't know how long this platform is going to be standing. You don't know. You don't know what the future is. So I want you to take advantage of this platform right now while it's here to start building your brand. So then you could disperse yourself out, diversify yourself to these other platforms. But we'll get into that later. So marketing on TikTok. Now that we got all the extra stuff out of the way, of course, we're going to talk about how you can market your product on TikTok, because this is the number one way that you can get out there faster. Number one way that you can get out there faster. I've seen accounts go from 0 to 70,000 followers in 30 days. I have seen accounts go from 0. These are new accounts. 0 to $13,000, $13,000 followers in a short amount of time. My own personal account has went from 0 followers to now we're at 22,000 followers in a short amount of time, right? So that's what I'm saying. This is one of the number one ways that you can get out there faster. Okay. Is it going to be easier? No, but faster? Yes. I started my TikTok account, like I said, from 0 followers, and I grew to 13,000 followers in 45 days. Those days went by quick. Like I said, I know somebody that went from 0 to now they're at 78,000, I think, or 70,000 followers in 30 days. So all by doing what I'm about to tell you to do. So I want y'all to sit back and understand this. Okay. Social media is not a one size fit all. These are a lot of tips and stuff that we give you are things that we have either done, we have told our clients to do, or I have definitely done myself. But you have to understand, you have to come on social media and be yourself. A lot of this is how this stuff works. You have to come on social media, especially TikTok, and you have to be funny, you have to be educational, and you have to give value. Either one of those things. You have to be funny or educational, or in some way with either one of them, give some type of value when it comes to the TikTok platform, right? So I want you to find one topic to talk about in the beginning. Just one. Make it easy on yourself. Make it easier for your audience to find you. Make sure this one topic fits into what this ebook is about and something that you want to talk about for a good period of time, all right? That's what I want you to do. Just one. We are not the type that's going to stick to trending sounds. We're not going to do that. But we are going to utilize trending sounds. We're definitely going to utilize trending sounds, but we're also going to utilize talking videos. So talking videos is going to be how your audience is going to get to know you better than just a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 10-second clip of none talking, right? Your personality shows when you talk. Your character shows when you talk. Your value that you're about to give, it is heard when you talk. So if you decide, or if you do use talking videos, you will start to see a difference in a lot of your engagement, your following, and things like that, because now I can hear you. I can hear you talking. I just don't see you putting words on a screen, right? So we're definitely going to utilize both. We're going to utilize trending sounds and talking to bring our own personality in this and our own character. This is what I'm going to need you to do as well. Now, this is not just to say that you should post 2 times a day. Here's why I'm going to tell you that you should at least be posting 2 times a day, because you are in the testing phase. And the testing phase is finding your audience, especially if you're starting from 0 followers on TikTok. You are finding your audience and you are trying to see which videos perform best, or which video structure, the structure of your video, which we'll talk about a little bit later, perform best. That is what we're focusing on when I say post 2 times a day. I'm not telling you post 2 times a day just because that's going to beat the algorithm, okay? We're not trying to beat the algorithm. We're just trying to give value. And when people on there see that you're giving value, then they're ready to go anyway. So that's just me. In the beginning, I was posting heavily. I mean, sometimes it was like 4 times a day because I was testing out which videos were going to resonate with my audience, the structure of it, the length of it. All of that stuff matters. Do not go on Google and decide that you're finna type in the best time to post, or how many times should I post on TikTok to become viral? Because Google is giving you generic overall advice that you should not follow. Not in this case, okay? So we're not going to do that. We are not going to do that, because the best time for posting is not necessarily a best time to post, y'all. Once you grow your account, once you grow your engagement, all of that, your analytics will tell you just a synopsis of when the best time that your audience is on TikTok, right? They will tell you that. But specifically, like a best time that you should be posting on TikTok, you have to decipher that for yourself. And when I say that, that's why you'll be in the testing phase, because I noticed that me posting on the weekends don't really get a lot of engagement. But some people post on the weekends do. But you also have to decipher between the different types of content, right? Because if I am posting educational videos about side hustles and leaving your job, money, most people are probably not even worried about that on the weekends, okay? They're out at dinner, maybe at a party, just having fun, doing something, okay? Versus through the week, which is when they're definitely think about it, because they're 9 times out of 10 at work, which is Monday through Friday, then they're on TikTok. They're thinking about leaving their job. They're thinking about, I need a side hustle. I need some extra money. They're thinking about these things. So I noticed that my videos do not do well on the weekend, but they actually perform really good during the week. That is what I'm saying, but that's not for everybody. This is where you're going to then decipher these things during the testing phase. So we're going to talk about optimizing your bio. And when I say optimizing your bio, this is what I mean. TikTok and Instagram is a little bit different, okay? So with Instagram, you can put, with TikTok, you can put, I share how to print money with side hustles. You keep it simple. Keep it very, very, very simple and straight to the point. Lead them to a call to action, which is the number one thing I still highly recommend that you always do, is lead them to some type of call to action in your bio. Some type of call to action, okay? If you are starting your TikTok from scratch, from 0 followers, you need to have your Instagram connected with your links on your Instagram. If you do not have an Instagram, you're going to have to get an Instagram. Sorry. Your call to action will direct your audience to where they need to be. Okay. So if you don't have any followers on TikTok, you are going to have to direct this audience to Instagram until you hit 1,000 followers on TikTok. That is when they allow you to have a link in the bio. Okay. So in order to do that, you have to have an Instagram set up. Okay. Thank you. So we're going to talk about how to instantly capture some attention. Now, having hooks capture attention, but what you're saying and the length of your video keeps the audience listening. This is TikTok. This is not a movie. This is not a premiere. This is not, okay? We're not at the movies. This is TikTok. people that is basically like a high. They come in for 4 to 10 seconds. If you haven't caught their attention within 4 seconds, really, it's a wrap. It's over with. And if you don't believe it, watch your own self, how you have become accustomed to, if this video don't catch my attention very quickly, swipe up. We're swiping. So you're going to have to instantly learn how to capture the attention of people, okay? Give value. We're going to always talk about that. We have already said that. If what you're saying is irrelevant, why would they keep watching? Okay. You're going to have to give free value in order to get someone to pay you for it, right? So if you don't notice, I'm on live all the time. I'm on live all the time, or at least a couple times a week. I'm not gonna say I'm on all through the day, but through the week, I'm on live very consistently, chatting with y'all, answering your questions. My page also has a myriad of videos that you can watch, that you can get information from, free value on live, in my email list, in my text list, and on my TikTok. Free value, right? Free 99. Free value. Okay? So you're going to have to give out value. Let's not be one of those people who trying to gatekeep and thinking that gatekeeping is going to get you money. That's not how this is going to work, right? You're going to have to give free value out so you can get something back in. You give to get. Over here, we give to get. That is how we're doing this today. So if you're not ready to do your research and study, I did typos right here. This is probably not for you. But I will say you're going to have to study those in your niche, and you're going to have to study those who are doing the same thing that you're doing. Because if they are successful at doing what they're doing, their technique is most likely working. So you're not going to go over there to copy. You're going to go over there to get a rough draft of their technique to say, what are they doing? What catches your eye about their content? Because if it's catching your eye, it's catching their audience eyes. How long are their TikTok videos? We just talked about this. I'm not staying there for 20 minutes. It's going to have to be real interesting. It's TikTok. It's not a movie. So what are the people in their comments saying? You have to be watching all of this because you are formulating your content off of all of this stuff, right? And how is their link in their bio set up? What are the hooks they're using to capture attention? You could also do your own research by when a video catches your attention, you could then say, how did they do that? Like, what did their hook say or their words say that hooked my attention? And then you can use that in your own content, right? How often are they posting? Now, this does not necessarily matter, but in the beginning, I feel like it does matter because you are trying to grow a page, so you are going to do a little bit more front end work to get to where you need to get to. So how often do you see them posting, right? We're studying this. We write down their Instagram, their TikToks, and we are studying these people. After we do that, we are doing a sales funnel setup. I told y'all over here, we focus more so on the back end, the marketing, more so than the creation, because this marketing is what's going to get you the coins in, okay? So the number one reason that you're not going to be making money consistently is because you do not have a sales funnel set up. Just to break it down a little bit, your sales funnel is your customer's journey from your cold audience to your warm audience to your hot audience, right? So we're going to talk about this. So a sales funnel it look different for everybody, right? A sales funnel look different for everybody, for every different type of business that you have. It does not all look the same, but they do have similarities, right? We always have a welcome email. We always have a reviews email. That could be one of them. We always have an incentive, and you do have a how can you help you type of email. Like it's basically it could be an abandoned cart email because they left something, they need something, but they didn't get something. So how can I help you get this? What concerns do you have? What more questions do you have? What do you have in your mind that I can help you figure out, right? Although every sales funnel is different, It is created based on your cold audience, your warm audience, and your hot audience. And let's talk about those, right? Let's take a breath. Make sure if you got a refill on some water, it's been like 45 minutes, but we're doing good. We're doing good. If you got to the point where you feel like, yeah, I'm really learning something, I need you to stop, pause this, and go leave a comment. Okay, go leave a comment under, not a comment. I don't know why I keep saying comment. Go leave a review. Go leave a review under this product. Okay, so your cold audience is people who do not know you. They most likely don't care about you, and they for sure do not trust you. So this is how you're going to gain their trust, right? Because usually with TikTok, you have, even when I go on live, you would think that it's people that already been to your page, especially when you go on live with TikTok. But it's usually mostly cold audience people that come through your lives, right? So you're going to have to gain the trust of them. Here's how you're going to do that. You're going to give free value, like we just talked about. You're going to give free value. You're going to have to give that free value, right? You're going to have to nurture them by sharing your story. This is why we talked about being interested in what you're doing and passionate, because that is going to easily help you to sell this product, right? Just the truth. You're going to have to show reviews, and we're going to go into some ways on how to get reviews if you don't have any reviews, right? Your warm audience is people who have heard of you and they saw you probably from time to time. They could even be on your email list. For example, they probably bought a free business checklist from me. And on the text list, they could be warm, pretty much. But they're just not quite there yet, right? So this is how you can get them to be quite there. You need to be hot, scotching hot, right? So you're going to showcase more reviews. It ain't nothing like some reviews that make people purchase, because I don't know what it is about humans, but if we see a lot of people doing it, for some reason we want to do it too. TikTok is so good at it. If we see a lot of people making something, we run to the store to make it. It just is what it is. So you're going to keep showcasing the reviews. We're going to give an incentive, which is in this case is going to be a discount. We're going to give them a discount, right? Because sometimes money will make them move a little quicker to say, oh, I'm going to give you 15% off because you want it anyway, right? Okay, and then we're going to ask them what their concerns are. Like, what is the problem? What is stopping you from moving forward? Is it fear? Is it money? Is it what? Like, what is it? Okay, you can shoot them an email or a text and ask them, like, what is stopping you from moving forward? And the hot audience, right? This hot audience is the one that burned the skin. The hot audience are people who know you. They trust you. They've been rocking with you. They purchased. They loved it. They reviewed it. They're interacting with everything you do. They on your lives. They in your skin, right? But you still got to nurture them because you want them to stay hot. You want the food to stay hot. If you want food to stay hot, you keep the warmer on. You keep it on the stove. We want to keep them on the stove. Okay. You're going to continue to nurture them. You're going to give them perks. So this is the way that you're going to do it. You can let them know that they're VIP, that they're going to be the first ones to know about this stuff, and they should be. They get extra discounts, freebies, all types of stuff. You can be given one-on-one sessions, and I said I ain't even doing it yet, but I'm gonna slide one in just for you. That hot audience deserve that. Okay, so now that we got all of that out the way, and this was simple and understanding it, I know it can seem like a lot of information to take in, but once you get to studying it and get rolling, you like, okay, this is it. We're going to do some content planning. This is where I want you to take out your paper and start planning some content. So there is no specific time of the day to post. We already talked about this. Stop listening to these people that tell you it is, because there's no one size fits all. It's just not. But once you start pushing out content, you can check your analytics to see what time your content performs best. So We're going to focus on short videos and trending sounds mixed with your authentic self, which is going to be the talking videos that we talked about. Now, we probably skip the weekend, okay? Which I still wouldn't skip the weekend in the beginning, because you're going to want to know what days or what time periods, time frames are your videos performing best. Like I said earlier, my videos do not perform the best on the weekends, but through the weekdays, they perform great, right? So we're gonna sit down, and this is what I need you to do as your homework. And then I'm gonna also need you to make sure you're in the Discord group, because I'm gonna need you to post it in the Discord group so I can keep tabs on you, right? Here's how you're going to get some reviews. Let's talk about it, because like I said, people run to stuff that already got the good reviews. So you are going to give out a freebie, or you're going to do a case study. I've done both, and both of them have, it's just there's not one better than the other. They're both really good to get you to where you need to go. So we always talk about social proof over here, because it is one of the things that is going to help you sell your product. You're going to have to take the reviews from the videos you made when creating this free value, or giving out a freebie for review, or do a case study with a few people to review your product. In the long run, the reviews will carry you way longer, way further than you giving out something for free. So don't worry about you giving out something for free, right? So now we're going to talk about creating the hooks. These are the hooks that is going to reel your audience in. Like, I hooked you on, now I'm reeling you in, right? This is what is going to capture the attention. If you didn't know, hooks are exactly what they sound like. They capture the attention. They capture the attention of the watcher, and they hook them in to want to know more. Like, they want to crave it. I'm like, what? What is that? What is that for? I can do what? It's also called clickbaiting. Usually clickbaiting is said on YouTube, but it's still very similar. You need to create a hook that intrigues your audience to want to know more. And here's a few, okay? If you don't know how a hook is set up, it's usually at the very top of a TikTok video, above somebody's head or whatever, because that's the first thing that people see when they see the video, right? So that's what it's called. Doing blank will make you an extra $500 a week. Okay, so in my mind, I'm thinking, doing what? Like, what do you mean doing this will make me extra $500 a week? How will it do that? When will it, like, when? Like, what day am I gonna get these $500? All these extra questions start coming through my head as the watcher. What they don't tell you about, da da da. So now I'm being nosy. Like, okay, what they don't tell you about what? Like, what is going on? A side hustle that you can start with $0. That's one that I have used and performed very well. Okay. Because now I'm thinking, like, I definitely need some extra money, but I ain't got no extra money to put out there. But if I could start this with $0, then we're great. Another one, why you won't make any money in 2023. This is, of course, because 2023 is coming up. So we're like, why won't I make, hold up. Now I'm offended. So now I need to finish watching it. Okay. And then the other one is how I, da da da. It could be how I lost 30 pounds, how I did this, how something with how you did something to trigger somebody else. Because now they're thinking, like, how did she do it? How did she do that? You know? So some other things with TikTok that I've noticed is sometimes you could switch it up a bit. You are going to have to get into the mind of your potential customer and how they feel at that moment watching your video, right? Because sometimes you have to switch it up, because a lot of times they see this stuff a little too often on their timeline. Doing this will get you $500 a week. Doing this will get you even $100 a week. You know, a side hustle you could do, and you can start today and be a billionaire tomorrow, right? They see this way too often on their page. So something that you can do to switch this up just a little bit is get in the mind of them. What are your customers doing in that moment? They are scrolling on TikTok. So you can say, you're scrolling on TikTok, stressed about your bills that are due tomorrow. If you don't want to be stressed about these bills due tomorrow, here's one way that you can fix that. Or if you're scrolling on TikTok and you know you have to go to work tomorrow and you should be asleep at night, here's one thing that you could do that you can make an extra $500 a week. It is just more so resonating than them hearing the same thing. Of course, it won't be exactly like that, but it's just more resonating than them hearing the same thing over and over. A side hustle, you can start with $0. Doing this will make you an extra a week, Instead, you could say, you scrolled on TikTok. We both scrolled on TikTok. You scrolled on TikTok. I'm scrolling on TikTok. What's up? What's up? So, hey, that's all I'm saying. We can switch this up a little bit because our content creation has to change sometimes, because when so many people start doing the same type of content, then they are like, here we go again, So now, although we already did the rough draft of our ebook, we are still in the creation phase of the ebook, and we are formulating or formatting the layout, right? So how do you envision this to look in your head? This is the part where you're going to say, if you've already started doing it or if you haven't done it, you need to write out, how did you envision it or how do you envision it, based on if you've already done it or haven't done it. And now we are down to the part that everybody want to know and everybody needs to know, okay? Because we're not just throwing our prices out there. We're not just going to throw a price out there. Just like a physical product, a digital product has to have a breakdown of a price too. Just because, with a physical product, even though you get more bang for your buck and more ROI with digital products, you still have to break down the cost, right? There is no right formula. I need y'all to know this, okay? Because if you go on Google, they tell you so many different formulas. So now we're just going to break it down to what you really need. There's no right formula or one size fits all. This is just an example. You're going to talk about your card. We're going to talk about the card transaction fees, which is what we talked about way in the beginning, right? You are going to need to add that in your cost unless you want to take the L. I advise you to add it into your cost, so there really is no L. And we talked about this earlier. This depends on the platform you use, your audience you're talking to. If you're reaching a higher class audience, they'll pay more. They don't have a problem paying $500 for a course because they're higher class. They got the money, right? That's just the truth. But if you're targeting middle and lower class, this plays a part in how you price. What would your ideal customer pay based on their experience? Okay, as them being a beginner, but you got to think, nothing's wrong with being a beginner and have money. But if they're a beginner and they don't have any money or little to no money, which could be in the lower class range, you should not be selling your product for $500 if you are targeting lower class people. You're not going to make no money, baby. None. Okay. You can do that if you are targeting higher class people, right? Because they're like, great, $5 ain't nothing. Let me put that out real quick. Okay. So this also depends on the pricing of your product. It's the audience that you are talking to. Any discounts that you may want to give in the future. Now, sometimes you may want to run a sale. And with digital products, it is easier to run a sale quicker than it is with physical products. Because my physical product store, I'm like, we got to make sure we had put that up in the cost. But with digital products, I send out an email quick, like, oh, we got 20% off, we got 30% off, we got 50% off. Because there are digital products have a higher ROI, extremely much more higher, and you have very little to no overhead at all. So it's easy. It's simple, right? So we also have to think about your website, software fees, or any hosting fees that you have. So if you decide you're going to use things like Adobe Pro, Canva Plus, etc., any software that you may be using that you're paying for, you have to divide that and break that cost down into your products. So Canva is free. You don't have to sign up for any of the Canva Plus and stuff like that, although they do have that option if you want to use different stuff. But the free option right now in the beginning is not hurting nobody, right? So I need you to study your competition pricing. This is not to copy. This is to see what is their price range. Let me look at their audience and see if their audience is similar to mine. Because if their audience is similar to mine, then their pricing is going to speak to me to say maybe their pricing is around what I need to be pricing, right? So you're going to be studying your competition's pricing. You're not going off of their pricing, but you are studying their price range of their products. That is what we're doing. So this is just going to help you to start formulating how much does the ebook cost. There is absolutely no specific length, ideally no specific length for an ebook. Now, of course, we're going to be honest to say for an ebook, you don't want to have 100 pages because you didn't lost me. You didn't lost me at 100. An ebook is usually something straightforward, quick, and to the point. So 100 pages is not as ideal, but there are no specific range to say you should have 10 pages because you can, in my opinion, from 10 pages to 30, 35 pages is good. 50 pages, you can even do 50, but pushing past 50 is a no for me. It's time to step into the webinar phase because it is an ebook, that's what it is. I'm just saying. So there's no idea specific link for ebooks. I know a lot of people had that question as well. Now we're not done, but I want you to let me know if this was helpful. And the way that you're going to let me know if this was helpful is by going to leave a review for this product under, you click this link, copy and paste it, or just go back on the website under this product, right? So we are going to talk about like two other things first. That's why I have my notes over here, my phone over here, so I can make sure that I get this information out to y'all, right? So we're going to talk about the separation of business and personal. Now, we should have did this in the beginning, but here we are. Here we are. A lot of people had this question as well. As far as should I get my legalization like your sole proprietorship or LLC EIN number in the beginning since it's digital products? And I'm going to give you a way to do this that you literally should not have any excuse, right? Because you're starting with $0. The only thing that you have purchased to start this is this webinar. Other than that, to my knowledge, you should not have purchased anything else. But hey, so this is what we're going to do. I'm always about keeping your business separated from your personal. But if you are in the beginning phases and you don't have a lot of money to go and do this LLC, some people said their LLC is like $200. Some people said it's $75. Some people said it's $50. Every state differs, right? Every state pricing of legalization is different. You are going to then go to, you're going to go and open your regular bank account. Because in order to open a business bank account, you are going to need your EIN number and your LLC. You're going to open a regular bank account that you can open same day. You might have to put $50 in there. Depending on the bank you choose, you might not have to. But you're going to open this bank account, right? You're going to only use this bank account for business purposes only. Hear me when I say that, okay? Because this is the way we're still going to keep our business separate from our personal. You're going to use it for business purposes only. And then you're going to go over to Gmail, Google, and you're going to make you a business Gmail account. And it's going to be a regular account. So don't go to the business account. I probably shouldn't have said that. Don't go to the business suite in Google and try to make a business Gmail, right? But you're just going to go make a regular Gmail account. Just sign up regularly and make a regular Gmail account. But you're going to use this for a business only. You're then going to link this to Gumroad and that bank account to Gumroad. That way, everything is going to still be separated, although you're not legal yet. And the reason why is because somebody was on live and she was like, it's your trial period. And I was like, yeah, it's basically your trial. You want to see if you like it. You want to see maybe if this is for you. So instead of going to do all that in the beginning, then this is what you should do as a trial period. Because federally, to my knowledge, do your own research. You're not getting taxed on money until you hit $600, right? So before you hit $600, this is like a trial period that you want to test out and see if it's going to work or if it's something that you really want to do and enjoy, right? So before you go and do all that legalization, this is just one way that you can do that, to separate your business and keep it and personal and keep it separated. So that's one of my things, right? Okay. So I think the last and final thing that we are going to talk about, y'all, is your product descriptions. Okay. So just because you have a digital product does not mean that you do not need product descriptions. Okay. I mean, hey, that's one thing that sells. I mean, you could buy a t-shirt without reading a product description, but a digital product, you need a product description. So I don't need you to post this on Gumroad and don't put any description in there. Go and do your research and look at how. Go to copy.ai like we talked about and get them to help you to formulate your product descriptions with copy. Go look at other people in your niche and see how their copy and their description is formulated. That is one thing that sells as well. What is it saying? Customers need to know. Outline the highlights in your product. They need to know, what are they getting? They need to know, how long is this? What should I be expecting? All of this stuff you need to formulate in your product descriptions, right? So make sure that you are not leaving those blank just because you think that you don't have nothing to outline. But you created a whole product. So you have a lot to outline in this product description, right? So that's it for this webinar. I really hope that this was extremely helpful for you guys and beneficial. Like I said, I need you to be in that Discord group so we can talk more, so I can answer your questions as well. But that is it for this webinar. I thank y'all for being here, and I'm excited for you.